Good morning, my name is Jody Sharmack and I'm the Emergency Management Director for the Town of Orange. We're here today to discuss regionalizing our emergency planning efforts with the City of New Haven, the City of West Haven, the City of Milford, the Town of Woodbridge, and the Town of Derby. As you may know, we currently work with Woodbridge, Milford, and West Haven for mutual aid agreements with our fire departments. This includes station coverage as well as the use of tanker trucks when necessary. Additionally, West Haven and Milford are also used to aid in responding to law enforcement calls within our town and assisting with their canines when needed. Regionalizing our emergency planning would strongly benefit the citizens of Orange in times of crisis. Sadly, the reality of our time is one where domestic terrorism, including school shootings, is a very real threat to our community. Having 4 elementary schools and a middle school, Orange has an extreme valuable asset in the provisions of SWAT teams for our neighboring communities of New Haven and West Haven. These resources have the potential to save more lives with faster response times and provide us with responders that have specialized tactical training. This could also open up the opportunity to train our responders, law enforcement, fire, and EMS personnel with larger departments that have more experience with these type of events. Not only would this increase the training and skill set within our town, this would help build the bridge to work more efficiently as a team with surrounding towns during real emergencies. Bridging gaps and working together will lead to a stronger communication and information sharing between departments. As an example, the Town of Orange has recently seen a huge uptick in street takeovers. Being able to pre-plan with surrounding agencies would deploy law enforcement resources faster, limiting the potential for injured citizens, crashes, and property damage, mitigating the major public safety issue. The City of West Haven not only has a Marine unit, but highly trained and skilled responders who have extensive training in safely performing water rescues. While the Town of Orange may not be a waterfront community, we do have several larger bodies of water. We do not, however, have a Marine unit. Being able to take advantage of the resources West Haven already has would create safer search and rescue or recovery operations, reducing the town's liability during times of water-related emergencies. Using the grant to compensate West Haven for one water rescue that saves one person could potentially save the town thousands in a wrongful death lawsuit if we were unable to provide proper response efforts. In this scenario, the grant would also allow the town access to boats if our dam ever gave way and the residents became trapped in their homes or in their vehicles and needed evacuation out of a hazardous area. As I mentioned prior, this grant would enable Orange to compensate West Haven for the use of their unit and supplies for specialized rescues. Many are unaware there is currently a state grant that pays our volunteer fire department $500 every time they respond to a call on Route 15 or I-95. Similar to that grant, the town could use the Regional Homeland Security Grant to compensate the regional SWAT team and specialized units for responding to calls in our town. This would allow teams to have additional finances to support their needs for training and supplies while assisting us with specialized responses that we need. Another thing this grant could be used for is training our 911 telecommunicators for tactical dispatching. Training our dispatchers to become tactical dispatchers allows them to deploy to disaster or crisis situations they otherwise would not have the qualifications to deploy to, such as another state to help relief efforts for communication centers during times of crisis. This is not a hypothetical example. We recently saw a real need for a dispatch deployment during Hurricane Helene. The Town of Orange could then be compensated for sending in our dispatchers to help relieve neighboring agencies when necessary. Pre-planning a response effort like this prior to a disaster would allow our dispatchers to have pre-existing knowledge of town boundaries, signal codes, and know where they would be needed to respond to. Having that information would make for seamless integration during the peak of a disaster. The last topic I would like to discuss is the airport. Our airport is large enough to support training exercises for all 6 towns. These tabletop exercises are vital for successful response. Not only does it allow our responders to work as a team with surrounding towns, it opens up the potential for more discussion and perspectives that may not have been thought of prior. Running these exercises can help all responders go back and reevaluate their response efforts and find gaps where they otherwise couldn't. The Homeland Security Grant would be used to cover direct cost, training material, and training pay for staff members coming in on their days off. The potential to use the airport for hosting training events for surrounding towns would enable us to increase revenue by charging a nominal fee for the use of the facility, making up for the lack of taxation in the airport. When we look past the training exercises, we can see potential for providing designated areas of the airport during times of disaster to temporarily shelter people from neighboring towns. An agreement could be made with those towns for compensation for sheltering people from their jurisdiction. The grant could be used to prepare those areas of the airport to house people during disasters and pay for supplies that would be needed. In closing, I would encourage each of you to consider how the Homeland Security grant would be successful to our town. Without this grant to support the regionalization of our towns, we lose the ability to have these valuable resources and training opportunities. I know you're aware of the difficulties the towns have had working together in the past. However, this provides us the opportunity to not only learn from one another, but to network with larger communities. Having this ability to work alongside a town that is nearly 5 times the size of ours would allow us to reach out to them for resources we may not have access to otherwise. Thank you for your time and consideration.